Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
This is the day the Lord's made, and we will rejoice. In fact, the day that he's been making for 37 years, and we'll rejoice that whole time. My name is Elder David Samuel, and my task today is to speak on behalf of the Presbytery and the congregation in just acknowledgement of our wonderful pastor's achievements after 37 years of building this effort. Pastor, can you join us? So as I prayed for what I would say today, that would reflect, what it takes to birth and nurture and grow a 37-year ministry that truly glorifies God. I thought about that, and the Lord dropped into my spirit the word steadfast. That's what came to me, steadfast. And I realized the more I thought about it, there's evidence of that all around us in everything we've been doing here. Now, I haven't been here the whole 37 years, but I've been here 20. And I've marveled at how we as a church, every year, we go higher and higher in the Lord, deeper and deeper into his word, and more impacting and transforming. Steadfast. That's the leadership. That's the leadership we have. It's because of your commitment to us and our walk and our relationship with God. In 1 Corinthians, Paul reminds the church to stand firm.
That's right.
Stand firm. Let nothing move you.
That's right.
Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that work is not in vain.
No.
And you live by that guidance. And we've seen it time and time again. And I started thinking about, what shows us that? I started thinking about how many believers have you welcomed into a new relationship with God and baptized into this new covenant. I couldn't even imagine how many of those would be over 37 years. How many babies have you dedicated? Multiple hundreds, I'm sure. That's the way I think about it. How many people and families have been fed, nurtured, medical needs addressed? Steadfast. This is steadfast. How many sermons have you preached in 37 years? I calculated that at least here it must be between 12 and 1,400 here at the Way of Hope. But you preach, so it's building and being steadfast. This is not a numbers game. I know it's not a numbers game, but it's important to think about these because this is evidence for what you've done, what you've been able to do here. How many new ministers have you nurtured and developed and sent off to preach? How many couples have you trained and married?
Yes.
And with scandal in the clergy all over our great land, you've been a model of integrity. A model of integrity. Never once slipping and falling. Never once. Steadfast. 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 How many of us have you eulogized? Steadfast. How many women in ministry and daughters of destiny have you mentored and inspired and just motivated? How many Alpha Kappa Alphas? And how many Deltas? That's what I was getting ready to say. And how many times have you answered the call to our leaders in service of our leaders when they needed you? From Raphael Warnock to Stacey Abrams to our 44th President of the United States, who seems to have had you on speed dial. How many pandemics have you helped us get through? Only one, right? Only
Thank you,
one.
Lord. That's enough.
And finally, how many graduates have we celebrated? How many graduates have we, particularly those young people who grew up here?
Yes.
How many Kenny Lively's? How many Mackenzie Rudds? How many William Johnsons? On and on and on and on and on. Steadfast, steadfast. So all I'm trying to say is 37 years of excellence doesn't just happen by itself. These are the things that sort of point to that and sort of make it happen. It takes God's blessing, it takes God's grace, and it takes leadership who is steadfast and committed. And that speaks to you, and we love you. So on behalf of the entire congregation, I want to thank you for your love, for your caring, for your corrections, for your grace, and for your steadfastness. And we want to present you with a small token of our gratitude. This is small in comparison to what you've been able to do for us in 37 years. But we hope this is going to be meaningful to you on this occasion.
Oh, my God.
Yes, that's right. You want to look at one of those and you'll see it.
Whoo!
And there's a bunch of them.
Hallelujah. Thank y'all for gold cards. David and members of the Presbytery, I've been steadfast because I've had elders who have held up my arms, who have loved me unconditionally, who have shared with me what they needed to share with me at appropriate times in appropriate ways, who prayed for me, who continue to walk with me. Elders, presbytery, and pastoral, who have been with me through the good times and the bad. And a congregation that just continues to walk with me steadfastly. I never could have made it without you all. I never would have had the desire to keep going. But because of you and your love, your support, your laughter with me and at me sometimes, your willingness to buy that blue shirt when I said buy that blue shirt, your unwillingness to buy that blue shirt when I said, and I know I got some rogues in the house. I love both of y'all. I thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Roz. Thank you, Stanley. I don't see everybody, but thank you all. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mary. Thank you all, members of the Ray. I'll be back better than ever. Thank you. I love you.